welcome back. So yes, I did purchase a Mermaze doll. I had made a video a while ago about dolls that I don't want that are coming out kind of now. And Mermaze was tentatively on that list because I just wasn't sure about them. You do only get the one doll. You don't get any like extra fashions or anything like that. And they are, I believe, $32 in the United States, which is kind of pricey. To be fair, haven't unboxed her, so the quality might be fantastic. I don't know yet. But also just the images online when these were first kind of being announced, the stock photos and everything on the Mermaze Instagram were not quite it for me. And I hope that I can at least explain this because I don't think this video is going to show this. These dolls, I don't think they photograph well. Which is sad because, like, obviously doll photography is a huge thing, and, like, if these dolls did photograph well, that would be awesome. But I don't think that they do, and I honestly don't know that she's going to show up on video the way that I would like her to, because I had kind of decided against buying these. I was like, you know, they're a little bit expensive. I'm on the fence about them, even though I am obsessed with mermaids. I don't know if I can justify it, and then I saw her, and these dolls are so much more beautiful in person. You genuinely, like, if you're not sure, if you're doubting or anything like that, you're gonna have to go to the store and see one if you can, because they look so much better in person. I don't even have the words to describe it. They genuinely just, they photograph so terribly. But in person, I was like, I have to. So I have Harmonique here today to go ahead and unbox and review. And we'll see if I made a mistake or not. I guess that's the big question in this video because I spent money that I wasn't originally planning to on her. So here's hoping. The other big thing with these dolls before we get into her is obviously the box. Whole tail just out. Terrible design, okay? I'm going to rant about this for a second. I don't know who decided that this was a good like packaging idea because literally on no level is it a good packaging idea. For one thing, the shipping is going to be a lot more complicated. Ideally, shipping this would be like encased in foam or something since it's not in a box to keep the tail safe. Do I think that they did that? I don't know. Do I think that shipping companies are always super careful with boxes? No. So I do think there's a huge potential for these dolls to be damaged even in transit to either you or to the stores for you to purchase them there. And then once they're in the store, I know people have been posting about this everywhere. The paint on the tails is chipping horribly. I had 3 Harmoniques at the store that I went to, and she was the only one who had like a decent tail. I think she still, yeah, she definitely still has a little bit of chipping. I'll show you when I actually unbox her. But like, that was as good as it was gonna get, and I knew there was no way I was gonna be able to buy one of these dolls with no chipping. Like, the odds of being able to find that perfect doll are pretty astronomical considering her tail is completely unprotected. Like, whoever designed this box literally did not think for more than a second about any practicality. It was only the look. It looks super cool, okay? I get it. Like, hi, you can see me. I can, like, that's so cool. But it's so impractical. Sorry, I'm mad about it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm about to take her out of box, so that was my pre-unboxing rant. Let's hope that the doll herself is better, because, like, genuinely, in person, again, I don't think I can describe this to you. She looks so sick in person. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox her off camera, and we'll see how the quality and everything is. I will be right back with you guys. Okay, we are definitely off to a start. I did a quick search for this online, and I couldn't see anybody else who had this problem, so maybe I'm just dumb. I just hit my camera. Maybe I'm just dumb. Okay, I will say that this could 100% be on me. But you see these 2 little paper things? She had like a paper twist tie tying her to her box, and in my head I was like, this is going to be way easier if I just cut it rather than untwist it. Not realizing that it was on the inside of her tail. I literally used needle nose pliers to try to like get a good grip on this and yank it out, and I could not. I felt the doll like about to break, and then the paper just ripped instead of anything else. So I can probably just like tuck it down or like cut it as close as I can. But will anybody in the comments who's also had this, please let me know if I'm the only one who did this. Like, is this a me defect or was this bad packaging? I need to know because I am feeling a little bit silly right now. But yeah, so I took off all of her like waist accessories to be able to show you that. So, to take a quick look at those, she does have her like main almost like corset style belt with all of the rhinestones. Very, very pretty, shiny fabric, not fabric. It's definitely plastic. That, like, listen, we're gonna get into it, but the whole unboxing process just really threw me off, so if I sound like a crazy person, that's why. Anyway, the rhinestones are not coming off, which is super cool. We love that. I do love the color of this, I will say. Sorry, let's just be positive for a second. I love the color. I think that shift, like all of the rainbows and everything, is so, so beautiful. That material is so pretty. Then she's got kind of a tri-belt that was on top of her little like corset belts, where it's got a bunch of different straps to it, all in that same plastic, and a bunch of jump rings connecting them together. Again, love the pink plastic. The jump rings are like a fun little addition. Obviously, it's nice and detailed, and it gives a little bit of edge, which you know I love, so that's very cute. And then her last sort of belt piece actually attaches around her hips, and then also around her tail here. This I thought was super, super cute. I love that the accessory extends into her tail, just because, like, she's a mermaid. Why would you not want to accessorize your tail if you were a mermaid? I do like the sort of chain effect of these. It's interesting that I don't know what this is called, but you see it on, like, keychains. It's kind of interesting that they chose this to make a sort of dangling chain effect on her belt. I'm not completely opposed to it. I just feel like that's an interesting design choice that I'm not used to seeing. And then she has like this pseudo fanny pack sort of thing almost. It's literally just one piece of fabric. It's completely flat. Like the pocket does not actually work. It's just like a little extra flap. So like it looks fine on the doll, I guess, but it's definitely not the most amazing thing ever. I'm being fairly critical. I promise I'm not trying to be. I really had like a time unboxing this doll. But these three pieces, when they're on the doll, I think look really, really, really cute. Like I do like them on the doll. I think once you take them off, they're like shiny and pretty. And they're kind of mid-range detail level. Like we have obviously the jump rings and the chains, but then like that fanny pack situation is kind of iffy for me. I don't know. Y'all can be the judge of that. Then she also has this purse. Love, love, love the transparent plastic. The little shell handle's very cute. This handle can sort of move, like it's a bendy plastic. The actual range of motion is pretty small, but like it bends, so it makes it more. Then when it comes to Harmonique herself, inset eyes, which we love, rooted lashes. Hers, interestingly, like stop right about here. I feel like a good quarter of her eye just doesn't have lashes on it, and I don't know if that's because of the way that they were placed, or if there just really is not enough lash rooting there. I don't know, but the inside eyes are very, very pretty. I do think, I had said before that her, like the mermaid's faces kind of look a little uncanny valley to me. I think less so in person. Definitely in person, they look a lot better. Like even switching from looking on the camera to looking in real life, the view from my camera, I can tell, is still giving her that uncanny valley look, whereas in person she does look a lot prettier and just like a lot more like a nice doll instead of like a little bit unsettling. So be aware that that is a video and photo issue. She's got, let's go this side, less in the way, little dangly pearl sort of earrings. Like they're not pearl earrings in the stereotypical sense, but they are made of pearls. Obviously she's a mermaid, makes perfect sense. She's got a really cute little studded heart choker. I know if you're on TikTok, at least my side of TikTok, you've seen 1,002 people wearing these. Not necessarily so much lately, but for a while there, I feel like I saw it in every TikTok video, so that's very funny to me, and I still think it's quite a cute look. And then she does have her little headset on. A little bit off, like this is definitely supposed to go in her ear. And then this, you know, obviously is the mic. So like the molding, not quite perfect for the headset. I get what they're going for. Not quite perfect there. Moving on down, underneath her top, she does have a pink sparkly bra just like painted on. I don't know if that's all of them. Let me know down below, because obviously she's the first one that I've bought. Or if it's just because for Harmonique especially, her top is very see-through. Like it's just a sheer sort of top. Top is really cute. I love the super dramatic puff shoulder. It's not like a regular puff shoulder, you know, like it's not normal. I think it's cool because I think she's got a lot of balance between like the very girly with the, like, stereotypically pink and, like, the heart and the puff sleeve. But she also has a lot of edge to her, too. Like, I definitely think that her whole belt situation is quite edgy. And then the studs on the choker. And I just feel like the point in the puff sleeve really enhances that. I think she's got a very clear and cool style. I like that a lot. She does have rings molded onto her hand. She also has what I guess are supposed to be cuff bracelets molded on here. Molded on? Hold on. Yeah, they are molded on. Which I don't love, because if you're going to mold on bracelets, why would you not make them go all the way around? Like, I would understand this gapping here if you could take all of the bracelets off, because obviously you have to have a way to get them on and off. So, like, that makes sense. But they're molded on. They're not removable. Why would you not just do that all? Like, that looks so ridiculous to me. Just, like, cover that back up with the sleeve. As far as articulation goes, she does have full wrist articulation. Oh, God, I was like, maybe this elbow will be better. This elbow, for me, is very stiff. I can move it, like, it's getting there, but it's very stiff. This elbow is a little better. She's got her shoulder articulation. And then one nice thing is that they do have, like, underbust articulation. So as you can see, she can twist, like, all the way around there. And then not so much forward. Like, there's a little bit of forward bend, but there's a decent, I guess, decent-ish degree of back bend there. It definitely is more of a rotational thing than a bending sort of articulation, but I am glad that that is there. That's pretty cool, especially for the price point. I'm glad to have a little bit more articulation. Let's talk hair. So this first, like, cuff is a hair cuff proper. Like, this is plastic. Little bit of sparkle in there. The rest are just, like, thick rubber bands going through her hair. Her hair is very interesting because this is all very soft in here. And then weirdly at the end, it feels like a lot less soft. Like, the end feels kind of fried. Like, if you've ever bleached your hair a little too much and your ends are a little too fried. That's kind of the feeling, but obviously she's a doll. She did not bleach her hair here, you know? So that's just kind of a weird thing for me to notice, that it's so soft here, and then it's not the worst thing I've ever felt, but it's definitely less soft down here. Other thing about the hair, I'll pop up a photo here, because I destroyed the box, but she is, in all of her stock photos, styled with braids, not only on these long front darker pink pieces, but also throughout her ponytail, and you're meant to do that yourself. These pieces, absolutely, once they're ungelled and, like, washed, could be braided and could look really, really cute. I do not have the talent to put all of the itsy bitsy tiny braids that she has in her stock photos in her, like, main hair. There's literally no way I could do that. If you can, that's spectacular, but I would say that most people purchasing this doll would not be able to successfully replicate that design. So I'm a bit miffed about that. I think it's weird to advertise something in your stock photo, like a particular style, and then be like, do it yourself, figure it out, especially when it is something so intricate as a bunch of itsy bitsy braids. Like, on a human head, that might be, like, challenging, but not as bad, because it's, you know, a human head, like a human-sized head, but on a doll this small, that seems so tricky to me. So mad props to you if you can do that, but I do think that stock photo should have just been her the way she actually comes. I don't know. I just kind of had some feelings about that. The hair is, like, a cute style, though. I do really like the bubble ponytail here. I think that once I get these washed and braided, the front pieces are going to look really, really cute. Her rooting, it's hard to pull apart and see. Oh gosh, I don't want to have to take all of these ponytails out, you know? Like, I just don't feel like it. It's interesting because to me it looks, just from pulling this apart, like she's kind of thinly rooted, but obviously it's covering her scalp and it's definitely enough for the whole bubble braid. I don't know, as far as restyling, how this would look. I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to take these all out to find out, because, like, I do want to display her with the bubble, like, not bubble braid, but the bubble ponytail, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get it back the way that it looks if I take it all out to find out how the rooting is. So, don't know that for restyling purposes it would work, but I also think that if she were any more thickly rooted, this would be ridiculous, because it's already a problem in that it is already weighing the doll's head down. I'm gonna show some shots in a second here from a different angle so you guys can understand what I mean.
But the hair is already so heavy because it is so long and it's all concentrated in one spot that it is already hard for her to balance, and she's like already being weighed down. So for at least Harmonique specifically, who has all of her hair up in a ponytail, I think that this might have been the right rooting choice, assuming that you're going to keep the doll the way it is. Again, I could be super wrong. Like, she might have fantastic rooting under there, and I'm just looking at, like, the wrong places. Let me know if you've taken down her ponytail, because I don't want to be spreading false information. That's just kind of the impression that I get. So, with that, we move on down to her tail, finally. Listen, I'm kind of a mermaid purist. I've said that before. I like when they have fish tails. That's just me. I also would prefer a removable tail, or if you're not going to have a removable tail, one with articulation. That being said, I do understand that given her crystalline design here, she can't really have articulation on her tail. I feel like that would have been quite complicated to accomplish with the molding that they've got going on. I don't know that I love the different tail moldings. Like this one, the crystalline, I think is kind of cute. I don't like the tracksuit looking bottoms one. I'm really sorry. I think that the rest of her doll is really cute, but I hate that tail. So, I don't know. That's more of a personal preference issue. She does have a teensy bit of the fin articulation, but it's really not that much. I don't know. Cool color, though. I love the, like, shifting. It's not actually shifting. It's just the paint job, but I think combining the paint with the molding, there's, like, a fun shift there. The tail on the back here, that's where you can see the chipping that I was talking about, and this is the least amount of chipping that any of the dolls at the store that I went to had. So, not super great, not super fun. I do wish that I could have unboxed her in perfect condition, but you know, it is what it is. The other thing that I think is just super, super bizarre about her tail is that she literally has like a crystalline molded butt. Like, I don't know, that just feels really, really weird to me. Like, the fact that they literally did two separate cheeks, I would have understood if it's like from the side you can see she's got curves because she's a mermaid and you want to kind of evoke that imagery. But the two separate crystalline butt cheeks, that was definitely a choice. There also is a lot of chipping and stuff at the top of her tail, which I didn't even think to look for, which is kind of my fault. Like, there's even a scratch here. That's on me. Like, I should have double checked that before I purchased her. But it's weird that even the part of the tail that was protected from the box, or like in the box, is still like that. I don't know. Anyway, the other thing with these dolls is that they do have a color change aspect. So I have a bowl of ice water here, hoping it's cold enough. Let's see if her tail will change color. I picked like a nice big bowl so that I could fit more of her tail in there. Hello. Hello. Is it changing at all? I thought for a second that it looked a little lighter on the back, but it's literally supposed to go like full gray. No? Okay, girly, well, I'm just gonna let you vibe there. I'll be right back with you guys. I'm gonna grab some more ice cubes to dump in there and see if that helps. Okay, sound warning. This is either gonna be really pleasant or really unpleasant, depending on who you are. Wow, actually, never mind. That was not nearly as dramatic as I thought it was gonna be. What if I just, like, put it right on the tail? Is that gonna get cold enough? I will say that the description, like the instruction sheet that these dolls came with, said most dolls will change with cold water. One doll will change with hot water. One will change with both. I think that's what it said. Either that or it was all cold, and then one will change with both hot and cold. Point is that it wasn't, like, it didn't name the names of the characters or make it explicitly clear in any way which one did which.
Okay, editing note, I was right when I said the paper slip that Harmonique came with did not say which doll changed with what temperature of water. Looking up her description online on online retailers did say that she would change under hot water though, so the clip that you're seeing here is after I had poured hot water on Harmonique's tail. You can see that the front half has turned to that gray that I was expecting, but the back half still didn't change. So 2 complaints here. One is that I feel like the instructions that she came with should have explicitly stated these dolls need cold water and these dolls need hot water instead of just some will do this and some won't. I think that that's silly, like just type out the names. And then also, even though I got the color change to kind of work, it still doesn't work. Like half of her tail still doesn't change. So like, I'm still disappointed now, but just in a different way. I don't know if that was on purpose, if that's like the design of the doll, or if it's a defect. If it's a defect, that's bad. If that's the design, Personally, I think that's an incredibly stupid design to have half of your mermaid's tail change color. So, I don't know. This was overall just a very disappointing color change experience for me with Harmonique.
Obviously, with the instructions, like it said about the color changing thing, you do have to drain her tail. Like, you can go like that and stand her up, and you do have to drain her tail whenever you're done submerging her in water so that, like, the inside doesn't stay full of water. Which, okay, I feel like maybe they could have designed it so that water doesn't get in. Maybe I'm just, like, being dramatic there, I don't know. But here's the big thing that bothers me, is that the instructions also explicitly state that if you get the hair wet, it's never going to look the same. Like, they literally are saying, hey, play with this doll in the water to color change, but also if you put her in the water to experience the color change, if you get her hair wet, you're probably going to ruin the hairstyle. And also it tells you explicitly in the instructions to remove all of her clothing and accessories before dunking her in. So, like, why would you design a doll whose, like, main feature, or, like, one of the advertised features literally on the box is, hey, this color changes, and then not make it something where the whole doll can be submersed in water and be okay? I don't know, I think that that's just kind of poor design on the designer's part. Like, that just seems really iffy to me. One other thing with this, and I will take like a shot, like I said, from a different angle, you'll be able to see how her hair is kind of messing her up. But these dolls are supposed to be able to stand on their own. Like I said, you can move the tail and balance her like that to drain her, and you're supposed to also be able to display her like that, which is why they don't come with stands, because they're supposed to be able to stand on their own. However, because of Harmonique's ponytail, because it is so much weight, not distributed all over her head, but like all at one center point, and it's so long, you cannot have it hang back behind her naturally and also have this doll stand up. You have to kind of like wrap it around her. Again, there'll be footage playing here so you can actually see what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's fun, I guess. So, overall thoughts. I got sucked in, okay? I was looking at these dolls on Instagram and I kind of thought, you know, I like the concept. I love mermaids, but maybe this is not one that I should be purchasing. I saw her in person and her design was just so amazingly stunning in person that I gave in and bought it, and the quality, to me, not there. Like, I think it's there in theory, but in actuality, no. Obviously, the color change feature doesn't work on my doll, so that's super sick. The standalone thing doesn't work because her particular hair design, maybe I just should not have bought Harmonique, but her particular hair design doesn't allow for the standalone feature to really function. But yeah, and then like her accessories are fine, her clothing is fine, but when you combine it with everything else, I'm just like, I think the actual doll is kind of lackluster, I guess. I'm really miffed that the color change doesn't work. And still upset that the braids were so beautiful in her stock photos and that they want me to do that myself. I don't know, y'all. This was kind of a bad one. I'm sorry. I really, like, I knew that some of these things were going to bother me. I already knew that, like, her braids and her hair were going to be, like, a negative for me going in, but I thought that everything else would be positive, so I thought that it would be fine, but from the moment that I started unboxing her, I just was, like, baffled and thrown away. So, yeah, I don't have, like, a good happy ending. I'm really sorry, y'all. I hope you still enjoyed the video. I hope it was at least informative. Remember when I said in the beginning to go to your store and see them because they're a lot prettier in person? Don't do that. I advise against purchasing these dolls unless they're on a super sale. I'm really sorry if this was a weird one, guys. This doll threw me for a loop. I feel like I've been bamboozled. So, that's it. I do hope you guys liked the video. I hope it was at least entertaining for you. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be. And I will catch you next week in the next one, which I promise is going to be more positive than this. Like, I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to make that a more upbeat video. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.